Ninth paper. No more anorexic models. Page 47.
Hello listeners and welcome to Fashion Matters. I'm Debbie Richardson and today we're hosting fashion reporter John Matthews to discuss the problem of anorexic models. Hello John and welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Debbie.
John, we all know that many models are much too thin and I was wondering if anything is being done to fight this problem.
There certainly is, Debbie. In Italy, for example, fashion designers have stopped working with models who are underweight, and even more important, they have also decided to include bigger-sized models in their shows.
Why did this change happen?
It happened after the death of 2 models in 2006. These young women literally starved themselves to death. It was then that the Italian government started a campaign against anorexic models. This campaign was launched by Giovanna Melandri, who was the sports minister of Italy at that time. She felt that anorexic models were a danger to themselves and to the people who admire them.
What do you mean?
Well, first of all, these models are slowly killing themselves because they are not eating properly. And second, they encourage young girls to think that a thin body is beautiful and that the thinner you get, the more beautiful you become. What these young girls don't understand is that they may be starving themselves to death in the process.
That's terrible. Are there other countries that are fighting this problem?
Yes, there are. In Spain, they have banned size 0 models. And in Brazil, girls who are younger than 16 can no longer participate in fashion shows. In fact, hiring these models is now against the law in Brazil.
That's good news.
I agree. But unfortunately, not everyone is pleased with this change. London fashion designers, for example, argue that they have the right to choose the models they like. Many are afraid that if they present bigger-sized models, their clothes will no longer be considered fashionable and, as a result, they will lose money.
I understand their point, but it doesn't sound like a responsible attitude. I was just wondering, is there any way we can help?
Great question. I think we should make our voices heard. In fact, I have just started a campaign on Facebook to encourage people not to buy clothes from fashion houses that employ anorexic models. I invite the listeners to go to my webpage and click on like. As you may know, the more likes I get, the better the chances are that something will change in the fashion world.
That's great. I hope your campaign will be successful. Unfortunately, our time is up, John. Thank you so much for this interesting talk. And thank you, listeners, for being with us. Until we meet again next week, goodbye, everyone.
Answer questions 8 to 12 according to the broadcast. In questions 9 and 11, circle the number of the correct answer. In the other questions, follow the instructions. 8. According to John, what has changed in the fashion industry in Italy? Complete the sentence. Anorexic women can no longer. 9. John mentions Giovanna Melandri because she 1. Wanted to help anorexic models. 2. Suffered from anorexia. 3. Is a famous Italian model. 4. Campaigned against anorexic models. 10. According to the broadcast, why are anorexic models a danger to young girls? Complete the sentence. They encourage young girls not to. 11. According to John, How are fashion designers in London different from their colleagues in Italy, Spain and Brazil? 1. They refuse to work with anorexic models. 2. They are against the ban on anorexic models. 3. They have models with bigger sizes in their shows. 4. They are losing a lot of money. 12. What does John say about his campaign? Put a tick by the 2 correct answers. 1. What the purpose of his campaign is. 2. Why he chose to launch it on Facebook. 3. Which fashion houses are against it? 4. How long he plans to continue it. 5. How people can express their support. 6. How many people have clicked on like?